welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Now yesterday we ended up getting a little bug fix for our collision detection with our entities here. So if we run into them, they're bumping us, and if we hit them, they bump away. And then, we still got to add map object collision detection for our entities. And then that'll start to feel a little bit better. We also need to give it better entity AI, because right now they can kind of just walk over the map objects, and if they are colliding with those map objects, then they need to come up with a way how to walk off screen even though their path is blocked. So we need to give them a little bit of a more thought out AI, but that is not what we're going to be doing today. I think today is going to consist of a shorter episode because I've got homework tonight, and the next 10 weeks from April 15 to June 21st, I'm going to be in a coding bootcamp full-time and probably contracting on the side for a little bit of money while I do that. So these next 10 weeks, I'm going to try to stream every day like I've been, but they're probably going to be shorter streams. So just a heads up about that. But I was talking to my friend today about potential sound effects for the video game. Hey, aka Bob, what's up, dude? You were all glitchy? Was your stream avatars weren't working? So I just updated OBS, and because dude, I started the stream and it crashed right away, so I updated OBS and we seem stable so far. So I'm hoping this OBS update is the ender of all my problems. Now, I was talking to my friend who's a sound designer today, and he was saying I should check out this software called, gosh, I want to say it was called Chiptune. I pulled it up and then now I am not finding it, so I'm just looking for it because I want to pull it up. Here, I'll leave the game on screen while I go find that, because I think today is going to be a shorter episode where we just make a couple of basic sound effects, and I'll show stream how we incorporate simple sound effects within Love2d and Lua, and that'll help my sound designer also kind of see, because he wants to ultimately be able to like work with the code in order to make more interactive sounds. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be implementing some placeholder sounds, and then I'll send him this video and say like, hey, this is the basics of how you do it, and then he's gonna be working on some stuff, and I'm gonna be working on some stuff. He gave me some good ideas that we're gonna probably implement into the game. So we've got that to look forward to. Now I need to find. I don't know why I can't find it. Oh, you know what? I think it's called Chiptone, not Chiptune. Is that right? Yeah, Chiptone. Okay. So this is it. Check it out, and it's inspired by BFXR, which my boy Stephen Lavelle developed. Now I love Stephen Lavelle because he posts game development stuff. Like he would do mini games and he'd post it to his blog like as often as he could. So he's a big inspiration of mine, and he made Steven Sausage Roll, which is one of the best games of all time. I highly recommend it. But we're gonna try to just download this zip file for Windows, and I can show you guys a little bit about it. I mean, I only just found it thanks to my friend, but we will go ahead and play around with it a bit and see if we can come up with a couple of placeholder sounds for our game. Cool. So we've got the little standalone app here. So it looks like we're going to want to just play around. So like it's got a couple of default things like so it's got a zap, And then it looks like it's got different waveforms. Okay, booms. So it's got the classic ADSR functions. I don't know what you call them, but the attack, decay, sustain, release. So it's got those classic things, and then it's got a sort of frequency manipulator, as well as a sequencer, it looks like, but I'm wondering what... Oh, and then it looks like you can pass it into some extra features here, and then you can save it. So we're going to see what... if we can get a little arpeggiator going on. I don't know how to get it to work. But some simple sounds like this will be great for the little placeholder, because we need a getting hit by geckos sound. And then let me just see. We go into the synth and just tweak some stuff, put on this arpeggiator. See, I'm not seeing how this arpeggiator is supposed to be used. This is cool though. I like this. I just want the arpeggiator to work. Okay, I don't know. Wow, I would not have thought you can make some sounds like that with this thing. Okay. I don't know how these arpeggiator freaking works, but okay. Let me just see if I can... Oh, there we go. No, that's different. That's different. That's like the coin. Wow, so every time you click it, it kind of gives you a different sound effect. Yeah, so like this comes out great for Game Boy sound effects, right? So I'm not going to play around too much more with this because we're ultimately not... we're probably not going to use it because our buddy Kane is going to be working on some more designed sound effects for us. So for right now, we're just going to add a couple of things, like we need to add maybe a spellcast sound when we're doing spellcast stuff. We need a get hurt sound for both us and the geckos, and then we need maybe a dying when our health is 0. I really like that you can just click them multiple times and they'll be random effects. But let's see. Let's first get us being hurt by a gecko. So let's mess with that. Okay, so we're gonna do. It's really gonna be super simple because like I've got homework tonight, so I'm not gonna be spending too much time on stream. But what we'll do is we'll save this as hurt.wave, and it looks like it's a 16-bit, 44,000 hertz signal at the moment. But we can adapt as needed. But I think for now I'm gonna go. We have music, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new folder called sounds, and that's where we'll put at least our template sounds, and this will be called hurt.wave. So we'll just do hurt, and then let's go for the dying sound when we have 0 health. I kind of like that one, actually. That's... that one's funny. Kind of like that. We'll do this one. I mean, it's not... This is just placeholder sound effects, so we're just gonna run with it. This is our death sound. I'm gonna make sure these are exporting because I didn't see that anything was in there. They are in there as a file, but the file is not a wave. Maybe we need to save .wave. Maybe we need to give it the extension death.wave. And then let's try that. Yeah, we just needed to give it the extension. So what we can do is just rename our hurt to be an extension of .wave, and then we should be okay. There we go. Cool. So we got a getting hit sound. We've got a death sound. Then we probably need some spellcasting sounds. And then one cool thing my buddy pitched was to have a more auditory confirmation of when you're in a successful spellcast. Because, and I agree with him that we don't really want to be... Ooh, it's okay, AK Bob. You got plenty of money still. You got plenty of money. Don't do anything rash. We're gonna have a more auditory-based. I don't know what you want to call it, like supplement to our focus and spellcasting system. So I want to be working on the synthesizer, kind of experimenting some sounds for that. Probably off stream, but I'll probably bring it on stream once I find something I'm happy with, and then we'll go from there. But for right now, I'm just going to be putting in some of these random sounds. Now we need spellcast. Now, is there a loop? There's got to be a loop, right? No looper? There's got to be a loop, right? There's got to be. I don't know exactly what this is. I will end up maybe looking at a tutorial for this so that I can know what I'm doing, but I don't know if I like that, but let's continue cycling through these maybe. I liked the one we found. We should have kept that one. We should have tweaked it. You know, we need it to sound like fire, but maybe we can tweak this one a bit. So let's see if we can figure out some wah-wah. I don't know. I think we need a little bit of a... Let's see if we smooth out the decay there. I don't like that it got all crazy at the end there. So the way Love works, Love2d, the default way it imports sounds is that it will play the sound once and only once when you play it, unless you set looping to true, and then if you set looping to true when you play it, it will play, and if it's already playing, it won't play it again, and then as soon as it stops playing, it will loop and play again. So it kind of works like that. So there is another library called Slam that we use to where we can play the same sound more than once. I think we just need a shorter length here. I think I like that. I mean, we're not keeping this stuff. It's just templates. So we'll call it cast.wave. We'll call it spellcast.wave. Okay. And then can we think of anything else we want? Maybe like a bumping into tree thing, but no. I don't really want that. Maybe a footsteps thing, but we aren't really about to do that. I mean, if we switch to the synth here. Not really getting any sounds out of the synth here. Yeah, I don't exactly know how to do this thing. This is cool though. This is a great little app. I like that it exports waves so easily. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna work on those 3 sounds as template placeholders, and then I'll probably clip this part of the stream, or I'll probably timestamp it on YouTube for my friend to look at once we import. So I'll probably I'll go into like kind of tutorial mode explaining how to import and play sounds in Love2d, starting from just how to get a sound to play and then how to get it to loop and then triggering it at appropriate times. So we'll do that. I think we've got the sounds we need, so let's go ahead and get started on the tutorial part. Okay, I'll pull up my main here, and it's actually in our dependencies. This is where we are taking in all of our stuff. We've got sounds. So I probably will just do a global variable for these things instead of placing them into the table, and then I might show what it looks like to put it into the table. So I'll pull up our folder and then I'll get started with the little tutorial for our buddy Kane. Okay, cool. All right. And then I think there's a way to mark the stream, right? Is there a way to mark the time code? I guess it'll be different for YouTube anyway, so I'll just track it down. But it's right here for future Paul editing to send to Kane, and it'll be, we're already recording, so let's just go. So we've got our 3 sound effects in this sounds folder. So I'll show you how to implement, how to import those sounds into our project. So we're actually in our main project, our main Lua file. So, and let me get out of the terminal here. There we go. We're in our main file. So main.lua. We're gonna, and instead of putting it in main, we're gonna put it in our dependencies. So here is the sounds table that we have, current sounds, but instead of doing a table, I'll just show you how it works. So let's say we know we've got a hurt sound, we've got a death sound, and we've got a spellcast sound. So we're going to give ourselves variables to store those sounds, and the way we import it is a love.audio.new source, and then we pass in the string to the file path. So the file path is sounds at whatever this same, I named them consistent so that we can import them very easily. So we'll say hurt gets hurt.wave, death gets love.audio.new source, and we'll pass it the folder, and it'll say sounds/death.wave, and then we'll get our spellcast. So we do the assignment operator. That's not an equal sign. The equal sign is the assignment operator in programming, and what that does is it copies the value on the right into the value on the left. So we're taking this love.audio.new source, and we're placing it inside the variable called spellcast. So instead of having to type out this stuff every time, love.audio.new source, we just type spellcast :play, and it'll play the sound. So that's just a way of kind of making it easier on us. So how do we play these sounds? We've got 3 global sounds. All we have to do is run something that looks like this. It's hurt, or like, you would take the title of the sound, which is hurt, you do : to run a function on it, and it would be play, and then the function actually needs the parentheses like that. So that's all you need to do to play the sound. So what we'll do, you can't just put it, actually I think you can just put it right here and it would probably work. Let's see what happens if we, let's actually see what happens if we just try to play it here in our dependencies, because we do require our dependencies. So let's say hurt play, and it might be too fast for us to hear, but let's see. Okay, string expected got no. We did have this folder, right? So let me just make sure. It is called Tashio Sounds. Okay. Death, hurt, and spellcast. Death, hurt, and spellcast. Yeah. So I think let me see if this is the line that it's not liking. I'll comment that out, and let's see. Bad argument 2, new source. Okay, it needs a second argument. It needs a file path, and it needs a file type, flow type, or I don't know what it's even called. But you pass in. We'll put static. I think there's only 2 different things you can pass in, and it's either static or I don't know what the other one is. But if we pass in static and then try to play it, we get another crash here. Welcome to programming, but we'll put in the correct quote there, and then did you hear it? It did a little hurt sound. So it just did it at the wrong time, right? So we can change this to any sound we want. It can be death sound. We say death play. Cool, that's the death sound. So it's really that simple to get them playing. we can look up what the play methods are, or whatever that second. So that's the spell cast. So let's go ahead and I'm going to look up what that second argument for love.new audio source is. And this is just what programmers do, is they search, you know, documentation on new functions and new things they haven't done. So let's see here. There is it takes in two arguments, a file name, which is the file path, and then the type, which is the source type. So for right here, it says that there's, where do they say static or stream? Stream is the other thing. So it's either static or stream, and I think stream is, it plays it out, the program plays it out, reads it while it's playing, instead of kind of loading the sound into memory and then just spitting it out. That's kind of my understanding of it. So since we're not trying to stream the data, it's a small enough file, we're just going to spit out the file, load it into memory, and spit it out when we need it. So we've got static as our second argument there for all of our spellcast, or for all of our sound effects. So now we want to do, what is nice about this is, instead of just saying hurt isn't necessarily a sound, right? Hurt could mean a lot of things. So what we're actually going to do is place these sounds inside a dictionary here. I guess it's called a dictionary for like a key value pair. So we're going to give it a key of hurt. So what this allows us to do is just say, you know, we're taking the same exact line of code. We're going to delete that once we're done, but we're taking this line of code and we're saying hurt gets put not into just a hurt variable, but into a key called hurt in our sounds table. So all this allows us to do is, it looks a little cryptic if you don't know what I'm doing, but it allows us to say, when we want to call a sound, we just say sounds first because we know it's a sound, and then we give it the key of what sound we want to play. So then we would say, okay, we'll play hurt. So we say sounds at the key of hurt, play. So it's the same exact idea, except now instead of just a global variable called hurt, we put it in our sounds table. So we kind of keep all our sounds together. So now if we play this, if we run this, it should do it just normal. And the thing is, we forgot our comma, so we're going to add our comma there to separate our keys. And did you hear it there? Now another thing we can do, since it's hard to hear there, we can do a set looping. So all we have to do is call the draw, or the soundable, whatever you want to call the sound, and we do the colon function, and we say set looping, and we can say true inside our set looping. Now this is how we set the value for our hurt sound, looping to true, and then all we do is play the sound. So it should just play over and over and over. Okay, so that's probably not what we want, but it gives us a way to preview what these things sound like. So what we want to do is we're going to take our other sounds, we're going to put them in here, and what we're going to do is put them into a key called the same thing. So we don't want to change that, we just want to give us an easier way to reference these things. And it's technically harder to reference them. It's just a little more clean, because then all our sounds are in one spot. They're all in our table, and then we can go, change them as needed. So this is the way I'm currently doing it. Now I want to preview what our spellcast sound sounds like when we loop it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run. So I'm going to set looping true on our spellcast. And then I'm going to play the spellcast. So it should loop over and over our spellcast sound, and then we'll hear what that sounds like. So, you know, doesn't sound great. It doesn't loop into itself very easily, but it is what it is, I guess. I mean, it's a placeholder, right? So we don't want to just willy-nilly call these sounds and play them randomly. We want to do them under certain conditions, right? So let's go about doing that. So how would we put in the hurt sound when we get hurt? So let's go check out, and we have to know our code base because our code base is sprawling at this point. You know, we've got maybe 20 files. I think the function we're looking for is called collides top object or collides entity. What we can do is search for player to entity collisions, and we can see that it's in our map class that we're doing our entity collides with our player. So we're asking for our scenes player, and we're running the top collides map object function on it, but it's not a map object, it's really just a entity. So I think we have, I thought we changed this. I thought, no, we did it right. I mean, we should probably rename this so it doesn't say map object, but this is where it's at. So what we're gonna do is say, if we go ahead and collide with that map object, we're gonna just play the sound once, right? So we actually have this split up into 4 different functions for the different areas of collision. So what we're gonna do is we want to play our sounds, and the sound we want to play is our hurt sound. So we're gonna say our sounds table at our index hurt. We're gonna go ahead and play that sound. Now, since we have 4 different collisions for it, we need to put that sound on every different type of collision. But in reality, what we would probably do is write another function for it, so we would only play it once, and it just plays if it collides at all. But for right now, we'll do that, and we'll see if us colliding plays the sound, and it does. Cool. So that's how we add, we add the sound to where we want it to instead of just random. So we want to be able to play our death sound when we actually die. So here, I'll give you guys some extra money so you guys can keep it going. Here, there's a currency. What is it? Add all 500. There you go. Have fun with that. So we're going to be adding our death sound when we have no hearts. So how do we do that? Well, it depends on where we would want to put it. For right now, we can literally just put it in the play state. And what we can do is say, we can add something as simple as this, where we literally just say if, and we have to get reference to our player, which is in our scene view. We've got a scene view here that has our self.player, but actually our self.player is in our play state anyway, so we can just call self.player. So let's just do, because we're trying to compare the thing we're trying to look for in order to play our death sound is if our player's health is smaller than or equal to 0. So we would say, okay, if our self.player.health, because that's what the field is called, if that is smaller than or equal to 0, then we're going to go ahead and play our death sound. So how do we play our death sound? We go to our global sounds table at our index death, and we're going to go ahead and play that sound. So if we're smaller than or equal to 0 health, we're going to play our death sound. So let's try to die and see if we play our death sound. Still losing hearts. We should probably only play the sound if we actually inflict damage on ourselves. There we go. So it sets looping. It sets looping to true because I don't know why actually, but we'll have to set it manually to false. I want to say it might be in our No, no, no. So I guess it just depends on where we set. It might... it's not that it's looping, it's just that the condition is... It's not that it's looping. It's not that it's looping. It is playing more than once, but it's not technically not looping. It's just that since when the death sound finishes playing, this asks again, and it's like, hey, is our player health smaller than 0? And it is, so it goes ahead and plays it. So we could do something like we would say, if we're small and we're not dead, so we'd say, and not... If we had a self.dead, and we would say, we would play our death sound if we're not dead, and we have 0 or smaller than 0 health, then we would become dead. So we'd say self.dead gets true. So what that means is we need to give ourselves a self-dead variable in our player class, and we would just... our player class here would have a self.dead that starts off false. You know, we don't start out dead. And then what happens is we can, like, we're trying to only play this sound once. So if we go to where our function call is in our player update, if our player health is 0 or smaller than 0 and we're not already dead, go ahead, play the sound, then we become dead. So the next time, instead of it playing again because we still have 0 or is smaller than 0 hearts, instead of playing the sound over and over, since we're dead, it'll ask this question, hey, is our self-player health smaller than or equal to 0 and not dead? Since we are dead, that would be false, therefore it wouldn't execute this if statement, so it should only play the death sound once, and then we're dead, and then we can't hear it again. So we would want to put this hit sound only when we actually inflict damage. So this is incorrect, but there we go. So we hear the death sound, and then it only played once. So that's good. So let's go fix... What is going on? Did you hear that? What is that? You guys hear that buzzing? Is this a issue in stock? I have heard that before, but our Sonic Pi was messing up. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Sonic Pi.